Singapore, Malaysia and New Zealand at a 1,000% profit. This is the headlines today, national investigation.
Stacks upon stacks of piled sacks under the seats of a passenger train. Rice meant for the Aam Aadmi looted and smuggled at 1,000% profit. This is the great Indian rice robbery captured on Headlines Today's cameras. Rice meant for the needy in Tamil Nadu making its way to neighbouring states and from there to Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand and Indonesia. We tell you how the rice mafia operates and makes as much as 1,000% profit. Under DMK's pet public distribution scheme in Tamil Nadu, 20 kgs of rice is sold to each ration card holder at 1 rupee per kg. The ration is acquired from government stores like this one for a measly sum of 1 rupee per kg. 20-odd women carry this rice in small gunny bags to the station. These women then board the last suburban train leaving Chennai from a small village called Attipattu Podunagar. As the train leaves the station, the women start spreading the rice on the floor of the train. This to fool the authorities so that if the officials do board the train, all that they find are small heaps of rice instead of bulky gunny bags. As the train crosses the last station, these wily women refill the bags. The sacks are finally offloaded at Tara in Andhra Pradesh and are eventually sold off at exorbitant prices. Headlines Today's investigation reveals that the smuggled rice is sold for anywhere between 18 to 28 rupee in Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Karnataka. This rice is even smuggled abroad where it is sold at anything between 120 to 150 rupee per kg. So how could this scam have gone unnoticed for so long? Would it be possible to pull it off without insider help? Who is responsible for the stealing of food meant for poor?
This brazen act has been going on for months together right under the nose of railway police and government officials. Now that Headlines Today has exposed it, the onus is on the government to put an end to this blatant act of interstate smuggling. In Tada with camera person Daniel Kanagraj, this is Ajit Rangachari for Headlines Today.
Well, the Headlines Today special investigation into the great rice robbery has come as a major embarrassment for the Tamil Nadu government. In fact, the Food and Civil Supplies Minister of the state refused to answer Headlines Today's queries, and in fact he ran away from our cameras. But the opposition AIDMK and the BJP are ratcheting up pressure on the Karunanidhi government. In fact, the AIDMK has said they will even raise this matter in Parliament next week.
Headlines Today's rice smuggling expose has got Tamil Nadu's DMK government ducking for cover. Shocking video footage of the great rice robbery being carried out through public transport systems has blown the lid off the DMK's pet project.
It is an official ruling party sponsored program, and the people of Tamil Nadu know it, and they will give a befitting reply for this. Definitely raise this issue in the next week in the Parliament.
The Tamil Nadu Food and Civil Supplies Minister is obviously finding it difficult to face the cameras or answer tough questions.
Sir, excuse me, sir, just 1 second, sir. Sir.
When they identify the smuggled rice, even in the ship, even in the train, even in the transport system, how it could happen without the support of the officials? How it could happen without the support of the government?
The silence of the government and the authorities only gives out the real story.
Railway police officials have refused to comment on the development. This prompts us to ask, is it because a concrete explanation to defend their inaction is becoming too hard to offer?
Ajit, I must congratulate you, the cameraman and Headlines Today, for bringing this out. For telling the people that, what is happening in the first instance. The railway police also doesn't, it's not as if they don't know. They do know that rice is being smuggled. So I think, it reveals something very, very dirty in our socio-polity today.
Headlines Today's cameras exposed what lies behind the success story of universal PDS in Tamil Nadu. An ambitious scheme for Tamil Nadu's needy that is actually filling the pockets of the rich.
Actually, the Anandapuri Express is known as Arusi Kadathal Express, that is rice smuggling express. So continuously from Tamil Nadu, the 1 rupee rice is smuggled to the peripheral states, the adjacent states. I am afraid whether this scheme is for the public or the party workers.
Whether it is the case of 3G or great rice smuggling, Congress lacks the political stamina to call spade a spade when it comes to DMK. But often silence is louder than words, and once again it proves that Congress shies away whenever it has to confront DMK on the issue of corruption. With Ajit from Chennai, Kartikeya Sharma from Delhi for Headlines Today.
Well, there's rank and rampant corruption and loot in one of the flagship schemes of the DMK government, something that was launched by the Chief Minister himself, and yet why aren't they taking action? Let's try and probe that. V. Krishnanand, consumer rights activist and lawyer, joins us from our Chennai studios. Here in our Delhi studios, we've got Mr. S. Rajagopalan. He's Bureau Chief, Varta. Can this happen, Mr. Rajagopalan? You've seen the pictures that Headlines Today has put out. Can this happen without the knowledge and possibly even the tacit consent of Railway Police, the Tamil Nadu Police, members, officials of the Food and Civil Supplies Ministry, the PDS? Can this happen?
No, it is an organized crime. It is orchestrated by the DMK top leadership, and I can even go to the extent of saying I have certain documents to prove that it leads to the DMK political leadership. Why I am saying, till recently, Mr. T. Nandakumar, who was Secretary Food and Agriculture, he wrote a long letter complaining about this, how it goes to the Tuticorin, Vijayawada, Kakinada ports, and how it is being smuggled into the foreign countries. CBI has not yet opened up this case till today. Mr. Nandakumar is retired. His successor has also taken up that issue with the CBI, number one. Number two, the elections are nearing.
That's right.
This is going to be an election issue. Earlier they say corruption. For your North Indian viewers, it is very, if I have to explain, the sand mining. The mining was also a big mafia in Tamil Nadu. It was sent to Kerala and Andhra and Karnataka, these three states. Now the same group has gone into the rice smuggling.
It's behind rice smuggling. Yeah, what I'm trying to understand is this was a flagship scheme launched by the Chief Minister. It captured the popular imagination of the Tamil Nadu electorate before the last elections. Some people say this was one of the reasons why the DMK swept to power. Why is the Chief Minister still not acting?
Because his true lieutenants are believed to be, alleged to be involved in this. That is why he cannot open up his eyes on this. Okay. It is going to be a pressure to be built up by congressmen, to be built up by ADMK and other political parties in Tamil Nadu. Then this Chief Minister may react to this. Okay. Otherwise, Centre, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, they are at it. Customs, they are at it. If you go to the Tamil blogs, you can see at least 150 to 200 Tamil blogs speak on the same rice smuggling. And especially this flagship program, when they have done it, it is going to recoil on the DMK's electoral prospects also on this.
Let's also go across to Mr. V. Krishnanand, consumer rights activist and lawyer who joins us from our Chennai studios. Mr. Rajagopalan here seems to suggest that this is not some random racket operating in isolation. This is organized mafia. This is an organized crime syndicate that's involved in rice smuggling, and he believes that the trail could actually even lead to some of the senior leadership of the DMK, which is why the Chief Minister or anybody in government is not taking action against this rampant corruption. Mr. Krishnanand?
Yeah, see, I think, there is one very, very clear pointer that what we noticed is not somebody sort of, carrying rice meant for another family into their homes. From what we have come to know, this has been happening for several months now. And look at the way the whole thing is carried out. I mean, there are these people who get into this particular train every day, day after day. They unload bagfuls of rice underneath the seats, and soon after the train crosses the border after Tada, they actually then refill it into the bags and take it away. Now, what comes out very clearly is it's not as if this rice is smuggled to be sold in shops there. I think it's a much larger racket. The rice is taken to places, and from there it is consumed, probably in the eateries and the hotels across the border. And so it's not some kind of a thing that one person buys rice here and carries it to his home in Andhra, which by itself is illegal.
In fact,
And
our
if you look at the
investigation
price,
trail probably even leads it to foreign countries. This rice is then exported to foreign countries. I'm going to come back to both Mr. Krishnanand and Mr. Rajagopalan in just a moment. But this is not the first time, and this is what raises very serious questions about the role of the Tamil Nadu government. This is not the first time that the Chief Minister's flagship scheme has been so grossly misused. In fact, time and again in the past, the Tamil Nadu police have nabbed consignments of rice being smuggled out of the state. But so far, they've only managed to apprehend small fish, truck drivers, go-down managers and so on. The real big fish are still out at large.
It was Chief Minister Karunanidhi's gift to Tamil Nadu's poor. Under a scheme launched by Karunanidhi in September 2008, each family holding a ration card could avail 20 kilos of rice for the subsidized rate of 1 rupee per kilo every month. A populist move that aimed to benefit 1.86 crore families in the state. But the CM's gift is being ruthlessly plundered. Several tons of this subsidized rice makes its way out of Tamil Nadu, not just to the neighbouring states, but even to other countries. In September 2008, DOC's Intelligence Unit of Chennai Customs seized over 1,500 bags of rice. The rice, meant to feed the poor, was being smuggled to Singapore in the guise of sugar exports. Early this January, customs officials at the Tuticorin port seized over 2,000 tons of public distribution system rice, valued at 3.89 crore rupees. The consignment was for the Maldives. Later that month, 9 tons of rice meant for the needy was seized before it could be smuggled to neighbouring Kerala. Again, on the 21st of July, 26 gunny bags carrying nearly 1.5 tons of smuggled ration rice was seized from an unreserved compartment of a train running between Kanyakumari and Bangalore. The spiralling food prices may have forced the government to ban the export of non-basmati rice to foreign countries. But the rice meant for the poor and needy of India is making its way to Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia and as far as New Zealand. Authorities admit there could be an insider angle to the racket.
I think these things do not happen in isolation. These sort of things happen with some help from some source. That we can't deny that.
The police have so far only managed to nab truck drivers and go-down owners. But the big fish, the brains behind this shameless scam, are still at large.
Even as the authorities maintain that they're doing everything in their bid to clamp down smuggling, the smugglers continue to adopt different modus operandi to hoodwink the state government and reap rich rewards. In the end, the people who pay the price are the taxpayers and the poor at whom this scheme is intended at. In Chennai, with camera person Daniel Kanagraj, this is Ajit Rangachari for Headlines Today.
All right, it's evident that just by getting only the small fish and letting the big fish escape, it's evident that the Tamil Nadu government is not serious in cracking down on this rampant corruption in one of the flagship schemes that the Chief Minister launched. Mr. Rajagopalan, the question is, Tamil Nadu will go to polls in less than a year, probably in just a few months. Will this hurt? Will corruption be a major issue in the next election?
Corruption and smuggling both. The expose done by HT, which as a journalist I congratulate your team. It's a wonderful job done by your team, and it is going to be a major political issue in the elections to be fought by ADMK and DMK. It's going to be an issue because 1 rupee scheme on which MGR, Karunanidhi, even Jayalalitha, they made a big, but this is the scam which you brought it out in the DMK regime, which is going to affect their electoral prospects.
Okay.
That is what I would view as a political, analyst. Apart from that, now centre has also, was responsibility, and they are also answerable to the Tamil Nadu people, because Mr. Nandakumar has shown this correspondence, and a letter from Mr. Sharad Pawar has also gone to Mr. Karunanidhi on this issue. They have not raised it anywhere, and they have just, put it under their carpet.
All right.
Now,
let me get closing comments from Mr. Krishnanand. Two things. One, the point that Mr. Rajagopalan didn't say in as many words, but he says the Congress, the onus is on the Congress to act. Do you see, the Congress acting, given the way in which the completely wishy-washy manner in which they've tried to act against A. Raja, number one? Number two, and at a larger level, isn't this the tragedy of not just Tamil Nadu politics, but some would say at a larger level even Indian politics, that corruption, the levels of acceptance of corruption has sort of gone through the roof over the years. Imagine if Jayalalitha's party is accusing the DMK of corruption, that's a bit like the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, I think, Zaka, you said it right. I think the choice for the people insofar as clean politics or accountable politics is between the